Steve Jobs, one of the brains behind Apple and Pixar, credits this book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, as one of the books that changed his life. What most people don't know is before Steve Jobs got the inspiration to join the other Steve to start Apple or Pixar, he journeyed through India looking for a guru to teach him about meditation. And there's a story about during his funeral, before he passed away, he made sure that everyone that attended got a copy of the autobiography of a yogi that was written by Paramahansa Yogananda. This is a life changing book about self realization, connecting with the God within, with that power within. And Steve Jobs credits this connection to his creative ideals. Yes, Steve Jobs was alive part one, which is the number of the entrepreneur, the innovator, the first to do something. But he needed to connect with that God within to give him that push towards his purpose. This video today is talking about the purpose of suffering. So if you've been going through very hard times and you don't understand why, it feels like it's a cycle of hardship, especially in your family or your ancestry, this video is for you. I'm here to discuss the purpose of suffering. I bring up this book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, because in chapter 46, he talks about the woman yogi who doesn't eat. Her name is Giri Bala. It's a story of a woman that from the age of 12 to when Yogananda met her, she did not eat. She performed this sadhana that helped her not to eat. She fed on the air, the ethers, and the sun. I wasn't surprised reading that story because my mentor back home in Nigeria had told me that when the world was first created, humans fed on energy. So when you're reading this chapter, your mind is like, oh my God, could that be real? What do you mean that this woman hasn't eaten for 56 years? But there's a movement called breatharianism where people talk about feeding on their breath. This lady tells Yogananda a story because Yogananda did not believe her, but there was some research that had been done in India in those days about her where they checked if she was saying the truth. So Yogananda went to India from the States with some of his followers to meet this lady, Giri Bala. And when he met her, she looked healthy. She looked good. You would have guessed that this lady had not eaten or drank any liquid for 56 years. So after hearing her story, Yogananda asked her a question. Can you please teach me the sadhana that your guru, your master, your teacher taught you so that we can eliminate hunger from society? And the lady smiled and said, we can't do that because there's a purpose for suffering. In fact, let me grab the chapter and read it to you. So Yogananda said in his book, he asked, Mother, why don't you teach others the method of living without food? My ambitious hopes for the world starving millions were quickly shattered. No, she shook her head. I was strictly commanded by my guru means teacher, not to divulge the secret. It is not his wish to tamper with God's drama of creation. The farmers would not thank me if I taught many people to live without eating. The luscious fruits will lie uselessly on the ground. It appears, now listen to this is the part that struck me. It appears that misery, starvation, and disease are whips of our karma that ultimately drives us to seek the true meaning of life. When I read this part, I paused and I remember texting my very good friend Chidera about this quote, about the purpose of suffering. I went within to realize that the reason why we go through things is not because the universe hates us or whatever, but it is to connect with the God within. Hello, everybody. My name is Pamela Chioma Belong. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a forever student of consciousness. It is my goal to share with you the tools I use to change my life so that would inspire you to change your life, right, by reprogramming your mind and connecting with the God within. If this sounds good, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends. My friend Chidera made a post on her WhatsApp story the other day about going back to your roots. She used that word roots. Many times we hear certain words or we see certain things and it doesn't hit us close to the heart until God, the universe, whatever is ready for us to go deeper and understand that. She said in her quote that going back to the roots is not just doing what your ancestors did, but going within to connect. And I was like, wow, that is so true. When you think about the root of a tree most times is not seen. It's not the roots we see when a tree grows is just a minuscule part of the actual root that is unseen inside the ground. And going back to your root is to go within, connect with that spirit within, with your higher self, with your chi. Even the Bible, all my videos every day, you know that I always say the kingdom of God is within you. So going back to your root is not just going back to what your ancestors did or whatever, but connecting to those energies, to the universal consciousness that your ancestors connected with, that gave them the great ideas of civilizations that they had. When we struggle, it's not the universe punishing us or being mean to us. Like Giri Bala said, it's for us to go back to our source and to find out the true meaning of life. If everything was perfect, we won't go with it. We won't start asking questions about why we came here on earth, things like that. Most people are interested in the law of attraction because there's something within them that is pulling them inwards. The law of attraction is actually a starting point to connecting with universal consciousness. Because when you truly understand the law of attraction, you're connecting with the God within, and the God within then connects you to the pure intelligence that powers the universe. This is something that most people do not realize. This is why these days a lot of people are talking about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, because we are in an era, the age of enlightenment, the age of Aquarius, where we are called to connect within. So if you're practicing the law of attraction, then you believe that there's something within you that is very powerful that can actually attract to you what you want. But this is just the beginning, the essence of the law of attraction. And you heard it here for the first time. The essence of the law of attraction is to go further than attracting what you want, but connecting you with that ocean, that unboundedness of pure consciousness that creates everything we see. In quantum physics, this is called the unified field. So that is the reason for the law of attraction. And when we suffer, when we go through things, we start to ask questions. I'll use myself as an example. Before I had my spiritual awakening, or before I started my spiritual journey, I was making good money in Las Vegas, but I was always broke. I could not understand why. COVID happened, we were hit, the hospitality industry was hit in Las Vegas. I filed for bankruptcy in 2020. I just had the idea. I don't know how I got the idea, but something in me just said file for bankruptcy. And 3 months after I filed for bankruptcy, my auntie and my uncle passed away on the same day. My father's siblings, one in Lagos, Nigeria, the other one in my hometown in Umoji. It didn't seem normal. I had to connect with someone, and I asked questions. I was like, do you have a number to a traditional priest from our hometown that can tell me why my auntie and my uncle died on the same day? Because it didn't sound natural. When he sent me the number and I connected with this man, he didn't mention my aunt and my uncle that passed away on the same day. He just said, This is your path. You're supposed to help people discover who they are, and you need to move quickly. This is why your mom passed away giving birth to you. This is why your father passed. There's a lot to gain if you have the audacity to walk this path. That is what started my journey. It has been a journey for the past, what, this is my 6th year now. Since 2020, I've been walking on this journey of connecting within. That is my own story. You hear stories of shamans in Peru or in the Mayan jungle and all that. They tell stories of how maybe they were younger and their grandmother came to their dream to tell them, oh, you are supposed to heal people. Oh, you're supposed to be a midwife. But when they don't listen, they lose everything. They lose their money, they lose their family, they lose their health, they become sick, and this makes them start asking questions to connect with their nawal, as they say in the, I think, Aztec world. They connect with their nawal, which is their individual spirits, to help them heal, and how they heal themselves become the medicine that they share with the world, and then their life begins to change. This is very similar to the story of Job in the Bible. Job losing everything to have that stronger connection with God, because yes, he had the connection with God, but it was until he lost everything that he started understanding himself, and he was tested, but he still remained close to that light within him. And then he gained so much after the trial. This is why we go through things, to bring us closer to our source. The goal is not to play the victim, but to understand what is happening, because when you start suffering, or when you're going through things, it shows that you are disconnected to your source, believe it or not. Yes, the society, you might be from an area where there's war or there's something going on, but the collective consciousness of a people is what creates the energy of that area. So if you're from a neighborhood or from a place where things are not working out, or there's something going on that is not right in your life, it's a time to go within and connect and ask yourself, why is this wrong? Like, what is going wrong with me? Why are things not working out? And you have to be bold enough to look in the mirror. You can't play the victim. If you have victim consciousness, you would never be free. You have to step into your creator consciousness. Stepping into your creator consciousness is you knowing that there's a power within you that connects everything together. That power within you is also that power, that intelligence that powers the universe. Once you come to this realization and step into your creator consciousness, with time, your life begins to change. I've seen it in my own life. The way I lost everything, giving up my apartment in Vegas, becoming a nomad, living in a homeless shelter, it was very difficult, but it also drove me to actually go within and connect and start releasing the baggage of trauma. I made a video last week about your trauma is holding you back, or your baggages are holding you back. Everything I've been through helped me sit back and start scraping off the traumas that has been in me since I was born, that has come from my lineage, things like that. Slowly but surely, I've been experiencing this joy, even though my life is not where I want it to be currently, but I have this joy because I'm connecting to that unbounded ocean of consciousness within me. And I understand that what is in me is greater than the issues that I'm going through. Suffering is a way to turn our eyes inwards to connect with the God within, but we live in a world that glorifies external wins and external factors. But the truth is, before you can win in your external life, you have to win in your internal world, because your external experience is a direct reflection of what is going on within you. If you have a lot of stress within you, a lot of worries, a lot of concerns, you see that in your external life. Just, close your eyes and think about it for a second. All the things that have been going wrong in your life before it went wrong, were you worried about it within you? Tell yourself the truth. It's a very hard truth to tell yourself. I remember when I started this journey, and because I do have a lot of it, things that I'm working on, I always have issues when it comes to relationships with opposite sex. They would always abandon me, they would always leave. But when I started this journey, I had to sit back and tell myself the truth. Like, babe, you know you manifested all this because before they abandoned you, you were waiting for the other shoe to drop. So when the other shoe drops, are you going to blame the people that you attracted that abandoned you, or are you going to look inwards and scrape away the baggage of abandonment you have within you? That's a thought. Suffering is equated to darkness. And the video I made about winter time, I said something that it's in darkness that creativity happens. It's in darkness that we seek the light. So if everything is always beautiful and everything is always calm, how are we going to learn? How would our souls grow? We come to earth for our souls to grow. And it's in suffering that our souls grow. In the Hindu or Vedic philosophy, they say that there are three reasons why we suffer. And the major one is ignorance. And what are we ignorant about? We are ignorant of the fact that we have the spark of the intelligence that created the universe living within us. This is something we're ignorant, so we're born and we forget our source, we forget who we are, and then we feel like we have to go through life on our own, forgetting that there's something within us that is there to hold our hands and go through this journey together. And when they say that someone has reached an enlightened state, that means that person has connected with that thing within them. And they live in the consciousness of that Atman, of that pure consciousness that created them. This is why they will say, oh, it's very, very hard for people to get to Christ consciousness, because it's very difficult, if I'm being honest. You have to get rid of your hate. You have to transcend race, transcend division. It's very difficult, especially if you came into this lifetime as a person of color and you see what the white people are doing. It's so hard to just look at them with love and say you understand that everything that is going on is part of the cycle of the universe. It's very difficult. But when you're able to transcend that and live in that frequency of love, maybe if reincarnation is a thing, we fall off the cycle or the chakra. Chakra is will, the chakra of reincarnation, the will of reincarnation. And then we can expand to other universes if reincarnation is a thing. Welcome to the lab, a safe space where we connect with our inner alchemist and recreate the life of our dreams, a life that our higher self has put into our divine blueprint, and the life that we truly deserve to live. The first step to take if you're struggling or if you're suffering and you want to connect with the God within is meditate. Meditation. Every video, I would always talk about meditation because it's a way to go inwards. It's a way to close external factors and go inwards. See with a single eye. That is with your pineal gland, going within, connecting to the God within. You might not feel that energy of bliss the first, second, 100th time you do it because there's still stresses and trauma covering the light. But if you keep doing it, the power of repetition, you keep visualizing yourself getting rid of the trauma, getting rid of the past stories, and you're giving yourself affirmations like connecting with the God within. Oh, the God within me is greater than the struggles I face. The God within me lights my path. If you keep doing the power of repetition, with time, you become close buddy with that God within, and you experience bliss and you experience joy. Even if your bank account isn't full, you're not worried because you know that your needs will always be met. Okay, it's planting seeds. A tree doesn't grow in a day. It takes time. So start, don't give up. The power of repetition, keep going, keep building, and very soon you become besties, you become one. The alchemical marriage between you and your higher self. Number 2, work on your health. Go for your annual physicals. Check on your health, your blood pressure, your heart, check on it. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just giving you suggestions. Go see a doctor. Go see a therapist. Your health is very important. Most people don't realize that most times the issues we have, the illnesses we have, are born out of emotions, our emotional body. So seek the help of a therapist, go to a medical doctor, do your annual physicals, watch what you eat. In Ayurveda, I'm a student of Ayurveda. I'm getting my second master's in Ayurveda. And they talk about eating according to your doshas or your prakriti. Your prakriti is your nature. Everything here on earth has a particular nature, and they are built out of the 5 elements of either water, air, space, akasha, fire, or earth. These 5 elements. Everything in nature is made up of these 5 elements. So you could be made up of the vata dosha, which is the element of the ethers and air. That means you're very light. The qualities of vata is light, dry, cool, subtle, moving. You could have the dosha of pitta, which is a combination of water and fire. Pitta are very dynamic, they're very straightforward, they're very sure. A lot of motivational speakers and all that are pitta doshas. They have the energy to do anything they want to do. You don't have to force them to do anything. They are very self-determined. Those are the pitta doshas. Then we have the kapha doshas. The kapha doshas are made up of the elements of earth and water, which is very heavy. They're very caring. They're slow to movement. They easily gain weight. If you see me, I'm a kapha doshi queen. In Ayurveda, they tell you to eat according to your dosha. If you're a kapha dosha, you can't be eating heavy food. You can't be eating sweet food because you just be gaining weight. And the idea behind Ayurveda that most people don't even realize is when you're eating according to your prakriti, according to your element, it is easy for you to tap the consciousness within you. That is the secret of Ayurveda. Most people don't know this. This is also the secret in African traditional spirituality, where they will tell you, oh, this is your taboo. This is your unso. Your spirit say make you no chop catfish or chop this meat or that meat. It's not because spirits are mean. Actually, they are giving you advice based on your nature. Because, for example, if you're a kapha dosha, catfish can be very oily and it's sweet. It's not really good for you. So you want a fish that if you're not becoming vegetarian, you want a fish that is not heavy, that is light. So that is the idea. That is the secret behind taboos. So watch what you eat, watch what you listen to, because it's not food is not just what you eat, but it's also what you listen to what you read, because it could create mental ama. Ama is toxins or undigested for things that you cannot digest. So watch what you eat, watch what you think, watch what you watch. What music are you listening to? If you're listening to bass music, that is music that's always about fighting or cursing people out, and you have it on repeat, you will always be angry. Always be angry. So watch what you listen to. And with time, the suffering would relapse and you connect with that God within you. It's also very important for you to exercise, move your body, dance, stretch. People think that yoga is just about being on the mat and stretching. That is why some people will tell you that they left New Age back to Jesus and yoga is evil. They don't even understand what it is. And it's so annoying when people that are not from a culture speak on something that they don't understand. Yoga means union between you and your higher self. And the idea of this asanas the movements on the mat is to connect with your consciousness, to bring consciousness to the stiff parts of your body so that it can be released. Because when you're flexible, it's easy for energy to flow through you. One of my teachers will say that stiffness is the body's way of telling you that the intelligence of consciousness is missing from that area. So when you move your body, when you dance, you're also releasing energy. In numerology, they'll say things like life path 1, or people with 1 in their numbers, or 3 need to move their bodies because they're very creative. And if you're not creative, that energy gets stuck and it becomes painful, then it turns to sickness. So it's very important for you to move your body. Do I move my body every day? I don't, but I'm trying to become a better human being. And the last thing is for you to start reading or studying about consciousness. Read the Bible. Read the Vedic text. One of my favorite Vedic texts is the Upanishads. I love the Upanishads. Some people love the Bhagavad Gita, but I like to go to the beginning. Okay, the Upanishads is greater than the Bhagavad Gita. Read the Bible. The Bible is full of codes. I love the Bible. I'm not a Christian, but I love the Bible because the Bible is full of codes. The Bible is actually the synergy of different spiritual practices in one book. People don't realize that. Read about consciousness. You can start with easy books like The Power of the Subconscious Mind, which is all about law of attraction, or anything from Neville Goddard. These people practice Christian mysticism. They tell you about the power of the mind and how the mind works. You can start there. Okay, I call this the book for the baby metaphysicians. Start from there. And then when you understand how the mind works and how to connect with your subconscious mind, when you expand that part of you, then you see yourself being inspired to read more difficult books that are not easy to understand. Maybe you may be called to read Helena Blavatsky's book called The Secret Doctrine, or you might be called to read the Upanishads, or you might be called to read other texts that are shrouded in secrets. But you have to expand your subconscious mind first before you can understand what these texts are saying. So start small. Start with the Bible. Will I even say start with the Bible? Because the Bible is so secretive. Start with The Power of the Subconscious Mind, that book by Joseph Murphy, or anything by Florence Scovel Shane, anything by Joseph Murphy. Maybe some books by Ernest Holmes too would help. Yeah, but start with that and then start reading about consciousness and expanding your consciousness. And with time, you'll get more ideas and you'll be inspired to read other things about astrology, numerology, and all that good stuff. I'm coughing, my throat hurts, and it's telling me that you should also share your truth. Share your truth. Form a reading group with your friends, maybe people that you trust. Go on online forums, go on TikTok. Share what you've discovered with the world. Heal your throat chakra. Also teach people how to connect with the God within. And, yes, because I forgot something. And thank you, Spirit. The number one way to alleviate suffering is discovering your destiny and sharing your gifts with the world. When you know your destiny, you also know your higher self. Know who your Atman is, who your Ori, who your Holy Spirit within you is. Most times when we suffer, we are disconnected from our destiny. So it's very important to know your destiny, know your purpose, what brings you joy, what is something that comes easily to you, but you're scared to put yourself out there. That is the number one way to alleviate your suffering. And this message came at the end of this video. So it's those that watch the video to the end that will get this part. I forgot about it, and that is why the cough came and my spirit wanted me to talk about it. knowing your destiny, walking your path is the number one way to alleviate your suffering. So if this video touched you in any way, let me know down below. I can't even think right now because, oof, something came over me. But let me know down below what you think about the video. What is your opinion of suffering? What is your opinion of connecting with consciousness? And if this video touched something in you, please share it, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.